I don't know how educated people really are on what's going on. And a lot of times even I feel like I can't discern what's going on here. But as one man told me, a Jewish man told me yesterday, he said, you do know what a terrorist is though. And I said, I do know what a terrorist is though. I think I wonder too a little bit about what it's like for you going in every day and Pierre, listening to what she's saying. How do they keep up this? How are they keeping up this mockery? I mean, with Joe Biden, failing in his health, failing mentally, how are they keeping this up? What's it like actually being in there and seeing this day in and day out?
Well, like you said at the very introduction here, there's a lot of really demon influence. There's a lot of evil there, and there's great deception. I really feel like it's a propaganda camp, great delusion. So they have evil helping them a lot of evil forces, and so for some reason God is allowing this for a reason we'll understand later. But it is very troubling, and I feel like I'm facing Pinocchio. About the lying that is always going on, and they got to know so long that they could drag it 1,000 miles.
I do love it when they get called out a little bit, but do they call on you anymore? Do they even give you an opportunity to ask questions anymore? Have they given you, I know for a long time that they weren't even letting you in.
Right.
And now are they letting you ask questions?
Okay, well, at the White House, the press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, she will never meet with me. She never calls upon me, whereas the previous press secretary, Jennifer Psaki, did. But there's some major breakthroughs at the State Department. At the U.S. State Department, I've been getting called on every day that I've been there since June, except for yesterday was the first time not getting called on in a crowded room. But the unique opportunities at the State Department to expose anti-Semitism. And I want to say that I'm surrounded by anti-Israel reporters, especially I think in the State Department, surrounded by anti-Semitic reporters. So I'm exposing their own anti-Semitism, revealing that. But, there was a recent vote regarding Israel, the Knesset, 99-11, rejecting Biden's two-state idea, a Palestinian state. This is crazy, for Israel to be forced to be sharing their land with terrorists. And there's a warning in the prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 2. This is a Jewish prophet. It talks about God's anger about anyone that scatters his people and divides up his land. It says, for God enters into judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat, the nations that scatter his people and divide up his land. So serious. And a lot of people aren't really paying attention about really what the God of Israel thinks.
It's strange to me because the Democrats have always been able to, they somehow captured the Jewish vote. Definitely have captured the wealthier Jewish vote. And now what is that like for those who are watching, the Jews in the Democrat Party who are watching their own people turn on them like this? What's that been like? Or is this just a small minority? Is this just the Antifa Black Lives Matter faction? Or is it the Democrat Party that's turning on Jews?
Well, the Democrat Party is very troublesome that they really are against Jews. Now, I know Biden talks about being a good Catholic and he really has the heart of Israel, but that is the big lie, because as Mark Levin pointed out in a recent interview with Alan Dershowitz, if he really had a heart for Israel, he would not be doing this. His behavior is showing that he doesn't have any favor for Israel. He's trying to milk both sides. He's playing both sides of the issue, and it can't continue. Of course, he's angering Muslims in Michigan and elsewhere about this, trying to ride the fence, but it's going to turn against him, and I think in many ways the Democrat Party.
We're certainly not in a position of strength, that's for sure, and that continues to make everybody more insecure, whether you're, just an average everyday American or you are a Jew living in this country. Watching people turn on you, it's very peculiar to me. It alarms me. Like there's a check in my spirit, and just going, this is not smart, not a smart decision that we're making as a country right now. Last words. What do you think is really paramount, fundamental for people to understand about what's happening in Washington D.C.? There's been people asking about, are federal buildings closed? Are they allowing people back into the White House? What is the atmosphere like here in DC for just the people? What's it like? Is it still pretty closed off, or have activities really resumed back to normal?
I would say the activities resumed to normal. The COVID virus really shut down a lot, and I wasn't able to go into the Congress building without a previous appointment. I can walk in now easily, go up to any senator off the Congress office, go into the White House. And they don't require for me to have a mask at the White House. I was being bullied at the White House during that COVID virus time, but And I also say that my access was threatened. There was a big news story in the Daily Signal. The Africa reporter Simon Matiba, he lost his press pass, but the Daily Signal reporter and my press pass continues because we had some great attorneys that went after the White House, and the White House backed down. So I have my press pass.
Yeah, always fighting. It's you continue to expose them. You continue to talk about the difficult subjects they don't want to talk about. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you've maintained through all of this is pretty impressive, Dr. Harper, because really lesser men would have been like, I'm going home. This is insane. Mm-hmm. And I know you debated, like, should I go home? Should I stay? Last year at CPAC, when we were talking, it was like, it's really hard. It's gotten really, really difficult.
It is very difficult. So people that I know that want to help me to stay at the White House, because I'm usually the only member of the Christian media or Jewish media, and I'm, it's an ongoing challenge. So the people this is our news website, imcnews.org. There's a donate button. People can help support, truth reporting at the White House. And I want to continue to be the voice. And I think I'm one of the only ones that's really talking about President Lincoln's solutions for America. He's calling for repentance, actually, from our many national sins. He said in the middle of Civil War in 1863, March 30th, 1863, about America as a nation that has forgotten God. We've become too proud and arrogant, too self-reliant, too proud to pray the one that created us. And he was quoting from Psalm 33:12, "Blessed only are the nations whose God is the Lord." What politicians do you know besides President Lincoln that has the courage to say these kind of things, that we have forgotten God? We've ignored God, and that's why we're so messed up as a nation. So
absolutely. I don't remember what the book is called, but last night a book was brought to us. These people felt it was written in the 1880s, where this similar situation was happening at that time too. And any time that we start thinking we don't need God, and he's really literally removed from even just the normal, natural, neutral things that creation testifies of are being put out and called radical. I mean, those things signify God. Those things speak of God even when we won't. And those things are being removed from the common everyday experience. I mean, it's amazing to me that the normal, natural, neutral things that God's created, just the genesis of everything, is now considered radical to support a nuclear family, heterosexuality, work. I mean, those things are those are demonized in our society right now, and they actually get attention and funding. So you're spot on. We have to reverse that. We have to correct that. You've been consistent and stable. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. So tell everybody again where they can find you, support the efforts to keep a Christian in the White House, telling the truth and getting back to us and telling us what's actually happening there. Where do they go again? Yeah,
please go to imcnews.org. That's Intermountain Christian News. We have a donate button on there to make a difference, to support me. And I'm there dedicated to truth and to being the voice for Christian and Jewish concerns, and it's such a serious time to be there. Great deception. Someone has to be there with courage, and with God's help, I continue. And I thank President Lincoln for these words. You should have seen the look on the face of Biden's press people when I was quoting Lincoln on the need for national repentance and saying that we've ignored God.
Absolutely. It's a Bonhoeffer moment right now.
Truly.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Great to be with you.